Hey everybody, this is John. Welcome to the free video. Huge day in the market today. This was a very fun day to take profits. We actually managed to find a few new things to add in this environment, but we're cashing in the rest of our debit spreads on Amazon, put credit spreads on Google, flipped out Tesla. I mean, it was just the last couple of days have been stellar, and now it's trying to get regrouped for the next couple of days of trading. So one thing I think is going to happen here, and I'll talk more about this in a second in more detail, is I think part of the market is being driven by Apple and its magnet essentially drive to become the first market cap company to reach $1 trillion, and that magic number is 197. So I think that's going to be part of the driver here too. We're going to take a look at Apple here in more detail in a second. So this really is just tech. So you can see here, tech here, this weekly squeeze about to go. And whereas there are other sectors here that really aren't playing along, it's just that tech and consumer discretionary are rocking the house. And for the other sectors, you know, like the dogs, like the financials, they might not necessarily participate, but as long as they're not imploding, the rest of the markets can continue to go higher. One thing today I want to note is that the skew actually dropped back to neutral. So there was a lot of concern here that the markets are going to roll over and die. Now we're back into neutral. That tees us up for kind of a short covering rally. The spiders here are having the toughest time. So we got definitely the Qs are leading, but the spiders are and the diamonds are horrible. They're almost too far behind to really to take the rally seriously, right? Does that mean that you short it? No, there's no reason to get in front of the freight train. But it is something where we want to start looking at, okay, well, what are some potential new trades here? I really like Shake Shack because this thing has 40% high short interest, or 40% short interest, which is high, and we've got a daily squeeze. We picked that one up in the room today. Alibaba, also a weekly squeeze, looking for more room on this one. Once a stock like this breaks all-time highs, it typically just runs and has a hard time looking back. And then CME. CME, of course, is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. We're within $1.50 of new all-time highs, and a weekly squeeze is just forming. All right. Now, we also had a great trade in Tesla, but we want to take a look at Apple, and let's take a look at all those right now. So a couple of key things we're looking at in the current markets are some of the biggest stocks. So these are profit zones. We talked about these in Saturday's class. You'll notice that for Apple, they line up exactly at the $1 trillion mark. Essentially, that's where it becomes a $1 trillion company. I thought that was pretty interesting. And then in terms of the crosses, you can see we got a little bit of weakness today into the close, but this is exactly what you want to see if you remember those thrusts and rolls that we talked about on Saturday. So essentially, every stock in every time frame goes through this, you know, what we call the thrust and roll. And this is that emotional thing too, where people are like, oh, you know, I got to get out here, or now I got to buy it, and all that kind of stuff. And so these multiple time frame moving average crosses help you time that. So for Apple, this is what we want to see. I like to see when everything up here is bullish, and then you get bearish all the way to the 30 minutes, then look for the 1 minute to cross positive again, and you can see the start of the next roll. So for tomorrow, we'll be looking for that real time. And then in terms of these profit zones, Tesla hit right into them today. So even though we had 11 days left in the option, we went ahead and took the profit today since we're slamming right into those zones. And then of course we also took our profits on Amazon. That teed up with the moving average crosses and then set up perfectly into our first set of zones on the smaller time frame. Did the same for Facebook. Facebook actually turned into a double, so our long calls doubled, a little bit more than a double on that one, so that was fun. And then of course the biggest move was in Google, and Google, we booked that one for 35 grand. What an amazing move Google has, and just being able to time it with these tools. And if you're not familiar with the process that I'm talking about here, is that every time frame, whether it's a 5-minute or a 30-minute or a daily minute, goes through its own rendition of this cycle. So you've got something where, okay, something's come down, it starts going, and it's obviously the opposite for downtrends. But as it's coming up, the person watching it's like, it's too early to get in, and then it takes off and like, it's too late to buy. But then it looks really good, and they're like, well, geez, maybe it is okay to buy. And then finally it goes crazy, and they're like, okay, I'm going to buy. Now, oddly enough, this is typically very near those profit zones that I was talking about. And then from here, mentally, everybody goes nuts. They're like, oh my God, stock's going to go forever. So then they get into denial, which then sets us up for this part. Oh, that's nice. For this part where it's like, okay, I'm in denial, so I'm not going to sell, I'm not going to sell. Then by the time they sell, they're selling it at a loss, and they're very pessimistic. And what you want to do is just use these tools to get in on the natural flow of that cycle, so you're never caught on the wrong side of it. All right, so if you're not sure what these are, you can go to this, if you type in this link right here, simplertrading.com/DPT for Dynamic Profit Target. That will take you to a page that has a lot more information on this, but I'm not going to bore you with all the bullet points. You can read those for yourself. But the basic is that we did a class this Saturday, which was fantastic. This is a $4.97 for members price. And by the way, if you're not a member, just click here to become a member for $7, and you can get the discount. But what we did with this is the 4-hour strategy class that talks about in depth everything I just kind of talked about there with the cycles and how to time them, and then it includes that EMA multi-cross tool, which is just a new breakthrough that Eric has built that changes the trading game. So it's been fantastic. Now, we already did that class, but you can still get this and get the recording before the price goes up once it goes into our store. So tomorrow on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we start the live trading, and if you're interested in that as a member, you can get that for $8.97. By the way, that includes this. All right, that includes the 4-hour class plus the indicator. But now you also get the dynamic profit zones I was just talking about and the 3 days of live trading. All right. For this, don't worry about it. This is just for total people that like total nerds that like to geek out on the stats. That just includes something called the Deep Stats tool. But these two have been a game changer for a lot of people that we've been talking about. And first time you're hearing about it, still not too late to jump in with us on the live trading. All right, have a good one, and looking forward to seeing you at the next update.